So, good morning, folks. Good evening, good afternoon to all my friends across the globe. Welcome to MedTech Minds. So, everybody will be surprised. What is it? MedTech Minds, something that is new happening in the field of technology. So, it's a podcast series where we invite speakers from various domains catering towards AI, healthcare, and technology, and we give some useful feedback to the viewers who want to see, learn some new things, some new startups that are coming up in the field of pharmacovigilance. We'll be exploring with using AI. We'll be exploring new startups, new founders who have started something, building something new in the field of clinical trials across the healthcare sector. We'll be exploring in the coming year. So this is actually we have planned around 2 episodes every month to start with, and slowly we'll make it every week an episode. We have an exciting guest today with us. Before inviting him, I would just introduce myself. I am Dr. Balaji, founder of DTRAS Global, a KPO based out of India, where we do medical writing, then pharmacovigilance services, as well as clinical trials. But I have a very, very special guest who is very close to me. I call him my brother, elder brother. I'm very fond of him. It's a great, it's a great medical doctor. He's a great medical doctor. His name is Dr. Dharani. So welcome, Dr. Dharani, to the show. It's a great privilege and honor to have you in the show. So I'll just give a small introduction about Dr. Dharani. Uh, Currently, what he is doing, and maybe he can take us through what he was doing exactly and now what he's doing. So he's right now the founder of 3 Analytics, basically a technology software company building products in the pharmacovigilance space using AI and data analytics. What Dr. Dharani is building is something very unique in the field of pharmacovigilance, because if I see all the companies start building with a safety product and then go to the other tools, but what Dr. Dharani has done is he has built the signal tool, he has built the literature tools across for different domains like drugs, device, vaccines, nutraceuticals, cosmetics. So that was very fascinating when I saw what he was building, and immediately I said him, let's do a podcast, let's bring this out. So now over to you, Dr. Dani. Welcome once again to the show. A brief intro about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Balaji, for those kind words. Um, I know we've been talking, and you've been fascinated about me. Of course, I'm just trying to build something, and as you know, the journey of a startup, and I'm not accomplished. So I really appreciate your kind words, and I'm also grateful that you chose me as your first guest for this podcast, and this is my first podcast as well. So I'm very excited about it. Uh, a brief intro about myself: I'm a physician by training, um, and then did a little bit of clinical practice, a short stint in UK, then came back, started my career with Accenture, servicing BMS back in 2009. And I was with Accenture BMS account until 2013. And 2013, I came here to US. I worked for Synology, a consulting company, which later became Bioclinica, and now it's Cunesca. Then joined Amgen. And from Amgen, I moved to Mallinckrodt. That is where there are two uh, organizations in my career where I learned the most, and I'll talk about it. So then Mallinckrodt, and my last one was with Rakuten Medical. Again, Rakuten, a technology company, a telecom company, acquiring a biotech company. And it was very interesting. I was around the 50th employee, and then the company grew significantly. And later I started uh, 3 Analytics. So that's a very brief background about myself. But I would like to emphasize, as I said, the two places where I learned in and out, very deep learning. One, of course, with Accenture BMS, having the fundamentals of pharmacovigilance. and at Malencrot, where I had the opportunity to learn about the data analytics, the signal it impacts all the way, not only to the patient regulators, but also to the Wall Street as well. So I was in the thick and thin of it. So that actually gave me the thrust, the fundamental understanding and the knowledge required for the product that we have built here today in 3 Analytics.
That was a quite a brief intro. So, what fascinates me is the next question, which I'm going to ask you: why pharmacovigilance? When you're from Chennai, from Madras Medical College, of course, I am also an alumni of Madras Medical College. We will be exposed to a lot of clinical stuffs. But what's your particular interest in PV?
See, it was an accident. It was not a um, um, particular interest or nothing of that sort. At least when I started, right. So I came back from UK, and I really wanted to do something big. I didn't want to get into that small practice and that get caught in that little world, right?
What
And
were
of
you
course,
doing in UK?
I went there to clear my exams, hoping that I'll get my I'll get something there and then finish my MRCP. That was my plan to go to UK. But again, the timing of my visit was not great. There was some immigration challenges and all, so I had to come back. Um, so and I should also acknowledge that I didn't fight it out. I thought, okay, if not UK, we'll go back to the hometown and do something else, right? Unlike these days, being an entrepreneur, not giving up, fighting it out, and this spirit was not there. Probably laid back, fresh out
Good,
of
good,
college.
good. You didn't have it. That's why you are in PV now.
Maybe now I'm connecting the dots, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then I came and I just uploaded a very basic resume in Naukri. So there were two companies. One company I forgot the name. They were helping another company which was implementing the EMR solution for UK NHS. So they offered me a good position, a vice president, and a good package and so on and so forth. And the other one was Accenture, which was almost 50% of what the other company offered, both in terms of title and compensation and all that. So quite natural, you tend to choose, and that was more of a healthcare IT, and this was more of data analysis, that sort of a thing, right? So I choose to go with the healthcare IT opportunity, and unfortunately, on the day of joining, the HR disappeared, the company never responded, and all that. So I had declined Accenture, like right, as you rightly said, probably it's the fate. The Accenture HR was very active. They were chasing me, and eventually they
Many
onboarded me.
people started with Accenture, right, in PV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Many.
Back in those
Yeah.
days, Accenture, I call it as Accenture Pharmacovigilance University, because if you
Yeah.
look at anybody today, they would they would have had some beginnings in within pharmacovigilance back
Yeah.
in with Accenture. So that way, it's an incredible company, a great experience, and the client was amazing. BMS, the learnings, that
Still,
what
BMS is with Accenture, I think, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they are running
So
strong.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that set the fundamental. In fact, my friend who is now a vice president in one of the companies here in, I think, in the Northeast. Uh,
Acha.
yeah, he was the one who interviewed me, hired me, and then he was part of that training, and so that was a great 4 years of
Fantastic.
learning, 4 years of experience. So, and then I became very passionate about pharmacovigilance, and also I had a strong belief that technology can always change the way of
Even
working.
in back those times,
Yes, because
way back, if I am not wrong, it should be 2010 or 2012, if I'm not wrong,
correct.
right?
Because it's Accenture, right?
Yeah.
Accenture, that's the infusion or the influence you get from Accenture.
Okay.
So that actually was the trigger, right? Okay, Accenture, knowledge plus technology. That's the power, right?
So
That
were you exposed to a little bit of technology in Accenture with respect to PV?
well, those days technology
You did,
was
right? Yeah, not there,
not
right?
much, but right. See,
That's
there's one part of our work where we get into our cubicle or our space, and then we work on this, and you come
yeah,
out of it, then you get the exposure to the rest of Accenture.
exactly.
So that was for me like both getting seeded into my brain and thought and whatnot, right? So then I when I came to the US and I joined Synology.
So after Accenture, directly it was US, is it?
Correct, yeah. In India, that was my only corporate job in.
So US was via Accenture in a stint,
No, no,
or
no.
directly?
I came through my wife had an opportunity to come here, so uh, I came and then I built my.
But you utilized it wisely, to be frank.
Yeah, in a way, because I have to acknowledge and be grateful to some
So
of.
how was the balance between PV in India and US those times when you first entered USA? Was there a difference?
Well, the difference is I I felt the difference only after starting to work with Malencron,
Okay.
because Synology is again a consulting company, right?
So when you
So
entered a core pharma, you felt the difference. Yeah.
similar to Accenture, right? In a way, a small Accenture, right?
Yeah, yeah. My first job was also with Bioclinica Synology. Yeah.
Yeah. So that place had a lot of inspiring leaders, um, especially Ram. Is unfortunately not with us today
Yeah, yeah,
because of
yeah.
COVID. So he was my manager in Accenture. So I'm always grateful for him. So he was with Synology. So he handpicked me, and also Sankesh is a true
Abhi,
leader, a
Abhi.
fighter, a
Okay.
true leader, fighter. I learned that was my um, the third seed, which is entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So pharmacovigilance, of course, medicine, then pharmacovigilance, then technology, and then the entrepreneurship. So I owe
I
it
think for
to.
me, Sankesh had given that spirit, I think, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I had the opportunity to
Yeah.
work with him a little bit, not a long, because we were in New Jersey. The office at that time was in New York, Manhattan. I used to go there,
Okay.
work with them and all that. Then
You're
I had to move. So still
still in
after that
touch
it
with him?
was more of remote.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I have great respects for Sankesh because my entrepreneurship
That's great.
inspiration came from.
If he sees this episode, then he will acknowledge it, I feel, for sure.
I am sure. I'm sure he will. So yeah.
So coming to the next question. So you had a little bit of service in CRO. You learned the core of pharmacovigilance, regulations and stuff, then exposed to technology, then slowly went into core company to understand how they operate. More fundamentals would have been become more stronger, right? When you go to core, usually.
No,
That's what I.
the thing is, there are two parts of it, right? Always
Yeah,
you have downstream and the upstream sort of,
correct.
right? Uh, when you are working for a services company or a CRO, you get to know you are given a task. So
Correct.
and you deliver. So where does that go? What is the impact of it?
Yeah,
Right? That I learned more after working with the sponsors here directly.
directly. Yeah. So the technology flame was always on. It was
Yep.
in the back of the mind.
Yep.
Then three analytics happened.
No, there is
So
a failure story
yeah,
before
yeah.
that.
come to that. I'm going to start. I'm going to come to that.
Yeah.
So, how was your startup journey as an entrepreneur when you first had this idea and then wanted to start?
Well, it's it's like a funnel, right?
Yeah,
I had all these inspirations, and I strongly believe technology can make the life of my colleagues, right?
absolutely. Yeah,
That was my bottom line, because I am working daily. See, these applications, I say this all the time. See, the current applications, right, in your work, plus the external world applications, right? Back then, they were all almost the same,
yeah,
be it your banking applications and so on. Now, the rest of the world has improvised so much, sophisticated so much. Why not pharmacovigilance?
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
That was
it's.
my objective.
I always felt that. I always still feel it. There is a chance to break the industry, right?
Correct, correct.
Yeah,
Now it's better. It's become better.
it's
But
better. Yeah,
back back in 2020, and or even prior to that, it was still the same. The
same,
mark,
same.
it was not shaken. Nobody
Yeah,
rocked the boat, right? So it was same old thing. So that for me was the fundamental objective, right? I succeed, I don't succeed in this venture, whatever happens, but at least I want to build a product which will
but
make the life of my colleagues easy in the industry,
yeah.
right?
You want to
That,
compete the Olympics medal, right?
yeah,
Winning is not the problem, but you have to
correct,
compete, right?
correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was my that was my sorry, that was my force to start 3 Analytics. But before that, um, I had an opportunity with TIE, the
Yeah,
entrepreneurship
GIE.
program.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was invited for a young entrepreneur pitch meet, and then
Is it
I,
in US? Is it in
yes,
US?
in Southern
Okay,
California. So I
okay,
presented it. I presented my thoughts, and then it was a seed event. So they said, "Okay, your idea looks great. How much money you want?" I said, "I don't want money. I want somebody who can help me with technology, because that was not my forte." Then I started working with a small technology company there. They had a very powerful
okay.
platform, but unfortunately, it didn't take off. Then I realized, okay, there are certain ways to work uh, when you work with technology companies or you build a technology company, right? So partnering and all that sometimes might work, sometimes might not work. But there was a lot of interest generated during that time frame. Um, and there was a lot of learning. Of course, I was all by myself. With the help of the other company, they quickly gave me some POCs which I can demonstrate. I built a own POC. I was demonstrating it, and first that one was literature and signal. Even then, I started with literature and signal.
So
Uh,
so that's my one of the critical questions which I wanted to understand. Why not safety? Why you went into literature and signal? Was it the influence of the core companies where you worked at the highest level, or how is it?
See, there are two reasons, right? When it comes to signal, the applications add very limited scope.
Yeah,
So you have to really do a lot of manual work to accomplish your target. And
correct.
that manual work included a lot of data cleaning, data crunching,
Yeah,
right? That for me was purely a technology work. It
yeah,
was not MDs and PhDs, safety scientists
yeah.
to sit and do. Rather, they spend more time and energy on the data output, the data analytics, the decision, right? Evidence generation, right? Literature, why? The two aspects of the literature, one is the surveillance piece and another is the evidence generation. Again, in
Correct.
evidence generation with respect to signal, you're doing the same manual work.
Yeah,
right?
AOI. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was for me was not right. Therefore, my, that was one aspect, right? The other aspect, now signal detection is also being outsourced, but
Yeah.
those days signal detection was never outsourced.
Yeah. RMPs and Signal always stayed with the companies, right? Yeah.
Companies. So therefore, how can I make life better for people on site,
Correct.
right? Uh, by building a sophisticated platform. So
Excellent.
that was another thought. It actually corroborates with the kind of feedback that we get now.
Yeah. So, was there any moment where you proposed these ideas to the Amgen or other companies where you work, companies? Was there a chance to propose? Did it happen?
Um, I sorry, I did propose to Malincrod because they that's where I learned a lot. I learned a lot,
Okay.
and I had to do a lot of manual work. There are many days and nights and weekends and so on. So, however, I'm happy to see now that Malincrod just recently, yesterday, I saw the news. They got merged with Endo Pharmaceuticals, but
Yeah. Yeah.
those days, Malincrod had really tough times,
Yeah.
very tough times. So this wasn't that much of a focus for them. So therefore, even though I had the opportunity to present it, it didn't work out that way.
So, one defining moment that made you start 3 Analytics, just in a short and sweet way. One defining moment.
Well, there's no one moment.
Oh,
There's a
it
lot
was
of
all.
trial and error, trial and
Okay.
error, trial and error. Yeah, keep talking to people, meeting people,
But
pitching.
who was your biggest support?
Of course, family was the biggest support to
Fantastic.
start with, right? Otherwise, to quit a high-paying job and
Exactly. Yeah.
start a company and all that is not even possible, right?
Yeah.
It could have been shot down right at that moment. But
Yeah.
family was kind enough. They believed in me. They saw my
The
passion.
difference between you and me is you have a beard now. I don't have a beard. Just shaved today.
Mm. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit sick. So,
It's all about what you said now. You miss out a high paying job. You take a route of a entrepreneur, and your family supports. That's the biggest gift what somebody can give you, right?
yeah, of course.
Exactly.
So,
I
yeah,
believe.
because
Yeah.
they have to sacrifice along with me, a lot of
Exactly.
sacrifice and so on and so forth.
So, what do you think about 3 Analytics versus the status quo now?
Well, see, we have we what we have done over the last 5 years, right? We have really built what is called as pharmacovigilance data science,
Correct. Yeah.
or a skill set to people who are with us today. They are pharmacovigilance data scientists. Such a skill set did not exist. There were pharmacovigilance people, there were data
Correct.
scientists, right?
Correct.
That's one niche that we have created.
So you have brought the data scientist and the pharmacovigilance together.
Yes,
That is
together.
one thing. Then what do you think biggest breakthroughs when compared to other status quos you have?
Right. The second one is, by creating this, we have built models, trained models, failed, right? We have failed more than what we have succeeded.
Correct.
Having said that, that's the heavy lifting, the grind that we went through 5 years,
Yeah.
which is giving us the edge today with the latest, greatest evolution of Gen AI
Yeah.
and the
I
agentic AI.
feel the other company is a little late.
No, they are fortunate in a way. They are fortunate in a way because they all are coming, trying to come
Yeah.
when Gen AI is there. Gen AI
Correct.
is sort of you don't have to do the heavy lifting that we were doing for the last
Correct,
four
correct, correct.
years, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So
Yes.
that's the advantage the current companies have. But that heavy lifting helped us to choose, to train, to make the AI very, very appropriate and fit for purpose.
Yeah,
So that is the advantage that 3 Analytics has developed compared to others. Others, they're like you call them, right. You jump from the cloud, right?
yeah.
So that, rather than we grew ourselves.
What I like about three analytics is um, the fundamentals are very strong with respect to PV. The fundamentals are very strong with respect to data science.
Yep,
Both are combined now.
yep.
So it's not just an IT company, but
No.
it is a SME
Yeah,
IT.
we have equal importance. So the way
Yes.
we have structured the team
Yeah.
is each data scientist is tagged with a subject matter expert.
Correct. Exactly.
I have done data annotation by myself,
Yeah.
right? I've trained when the models are trained. I've given feedback to the models, to
Correct.
the data scientists. So therefore, for us, these two are the most important factors: both
Yeah.
the subject matter expert and the data scientist.
Yeah. Good. So let's little deep dive now to signal, because personal journey is covered, little bit of three analytics is covered. So what do you see beyond the disproportionality metrics in three analytics?
Well, if you look at it again, this is based out of my industry
Yeah.
experience, right?
Yeah.
I want my colleagues to have everything
Hmm?
for them to make a decision.
Okay.
And what I mean by everything is all the data set, cleaned, do it yourself sort of a sophisticated situation,
Yeah.
and all the different algorithms. We have 20 plus algorithms.
It is a good message, Dr. Dharani, when you said cleaned. So there are a lot of companies in the market which does not have a clean data. I'll tell you. I don't want to name anybody, but there are, right. You know, you and me know that. So it's a very good message for anybody who is building a tool in pharmacovigilance in with respect to signal. Use a clean data set.
Yeah,
That's
a
one of the
clean,
things where,
validated data
yeah,
set, right?
correct.
Uh, what we what we want to accomplish from a data set is one unified data. There are a lot of
Pharma,
duplicates, right? We want to eventually, that's like work in progress, one unified data set, right? That
yeah,
is something that we want to accomplish. I see UMC, Uppsala Monitoring Committee, trying to work on that, doing some deduplication, and I'm also inspired by them, because they use a lot of data science now, AI now,
correct.
right? So that's very inspiring. So that's one that we wanted to accomplish. Now,
Yeah,
if you look at it, we have 20 plus algorithm. The industry is not still ready. They don't want to come out of disproportionality,
yeah.
right?
I am
There are
fascinated by
better
that.
models
Yeah,
which can actually reduce the noise,
yeah,
right? So we have learned it over time, and by working across verticals, like you said, drugs, device, vaccines,
yeah,
we were able to acquire that knowledge and build those 20 models. So if you look at our platform, you have all the models, all the data sets. Therefore, it is right in front of the safety scientist to analyze the data and make a decision.
yeah. I
Right?
agree. Yeah,
Right. In fact, one of the executive directors of a vaccine company who looked at our platform said, this for me looks like a safety scientist.
yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah,
and she was the one who really, really understood our application
yeah,
at
yeah.
a leadership level.
I know
At a
who is she,
leadership
but I don't
level.
want to.
at a leadership level.
Yeah, yeah.
There's always a disconnect for us to, to, to our colleagues when we present to them, when they use our sandbox and all. They're so excited because they haven't gotten an experience like
Yes,
this.
exactly. Great products
The
always.
leadership looks at it a little differently, a small
Yes,
company, this risk, that, whatnot, right?
correct.
But the colleagues, they are so excited because this sort of an experience they haven't gotten anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Even I didn't get that experience anywhere. I got it from 309.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I saw it.
that's our strength,
Yeah,
and we are improvising it,
of
right?
course. Yeah,
So eventuality or eventually where we want to have it is signal validation and risk assessment will be in s- seconds,
yeah.
worst if not minutes. So that's the power of AI we are
That's
building.
my dream. Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
See, when you do ICSRs, you do individual cases. Only it's going to become batch cases. You're not going to do every case. You're just going to do for at product level. You should
yeah,
start doing. Okay.
yeah,
So when you start doing at product level, obviously then you can do signal at product level at the same
ex-
step, right? Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. So that's something that our path is, and we've gotten we've achieved a small milestone, I would say. The FDA re- and expressed interest to meet with us through the Emerging Drug Safety Technology Program to
yeah,
look at
yeah.
our algorithms on signal. So that's something very encouraging for us.
It happens every year, is it? Yeah, the
No,
applications
it is a new
thing, is it?
initiative as a
Yeah,
result of the AI evolution,
yeah.
and a lot of people are trying to bring in AI into pharmacovigilance. So FDA is taking the leadership to harmonize and streamline.
Yeah. That's a good information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is that pathway called? Something starts with E.
Emerging Drug Safety Technology Program.
Yeah, emerging drug safety technology program. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you reduce false positives, false negatives, balance sensitivity and specificity in your tool?
Well, I may not be technically qualified to answer that
That's
question,
okay. Yeah,
but overall, what we do is we go through that rigorous pathway of fine tuning the models, testing it, validating it, retraining it. So that vicious cycle will alone get the accuracy more, reduce the noise, reduce the false positives. So that's what we've been doing, right? When we, if you look at it, we were in a stealth mode, to
yeah,
say so, right? That just January 2025, we launched the website. We put some products out, right? And we were in the meantime talking to customers,
yeah,
understanding, learning, building the
yeah.
product, building the models, right?
Did see
And
that post in LinkedIn. Yeah, Jan
so
20.
once we got at least one solid validation from a client, we then get the product out for the market, right? Before
You
that,
will you will get it. You will get it for
yeah,
sure.
no,
Yeah.
that's been the path we follow,
Right.
right?
That should be the path, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. And you get
Yeah.
an accuracy
Yeah.
on the customer. You're confident to say that accuracy.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. What we have built to put
Yeah,
it forward.
yeah. So, and it's not like a software, right? So software, there's no question of accuracy. Oh, have you implemented it? Has it been tested? Has it been validated? How many customers you have and all that? I mean, AI is not like that. Every
Yeah.
customer data is different. Their SOPs are different. Their output and process are different, right? Even though the broader umbrella of regulations are the same, there are nuances. So therefore, you have to adapt to the nuances and give an output or an accuracy that is expected from that particular client.
Correct. Yeah.
So the AI is a little different than the routine software
Right.
building.
So analytics signal. is beyond correlations. So, do you consider causal AIs? How is the models developing?
Yeah, the causal AI is the one that we've got recognized by FDA.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's the reason I say the risk assessment and signal validation can happen
Within seconds. Yeah.
within minutes. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Sorry.
already you said I wanted to ask you clean data. Of course, I know you are using clean data with respect to FAIRs, EMA, other regulations and stuff. Throw some light on epidemiology. That's where I see three analytics.
That's very unique of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, it's an industry learning
Yeah.
because working with some small companies and all, they it's hard for them to hire an epidemiologist. Even if they have an epidemiologist, the the access of a pharmacovigilance department to the epidemiologist is limited,
Yeah.
right? That's always a gap. So I again connecting the dots, like Steve Jobs say. I have a beautiful friend, Richard, right? Who I know through another common friend. Uh, we've been talking and thinking and so on and so forth. Richard has been with me in this journey for quite some time. Of course,
Yeah. I know.
he's now full time with us, but he's been part of the thought process as well. So he was to say a little bit about Richard. He worked as a Cochrane in the Cochrane review committee. He's got almost 1,700 odd citations. Can you imagine? He lives, breathes literature,
Citations.
epidemiology, right?
Yeah.
He's a statistician by trade
Yeah.
and an epidemiologist by practice. So initially, I didn't know what I'm going to do with Richard, right? While Richard was helping me so much. And then you have the answer, which is the idea of integrating epidemiology data that is required for your signal validation and your risk assessment, right? So therefore, that's another unique, and this is one of the reason the this executive director told, oh, this is a safety scientist. This application is a safety scientist. In fact, I'll tell you another company, a very large service provider,
Mm-hmm.
similar to Accenture, very large service provider. After the demo of our signal tool, the feedback that we received was, in the entire history of our company, this one tool received a positive feedback and a go ahead sign from all our SMEs.
Acha.
It has never been the case. There was always mixed comments. There was always a lot of feedback. But this one tool had no comments, but they liked it, right? So at that level, this tool is already flying.
Yeah.
As,
Yeah.
as an organization, we have to,
No, as
and
you
this
said,
all this we have been able to do it without marketing, without even a
yeah. Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
The product speaks for itself,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Now, once
So
the product speaks for itself, then automatically the GTM will come into play and marketing will start. It'll go. Yeah.
yeah, so
No worries.
that's exactly what we have done over the last
Yeah.
4.5 years.
So, how compliant is with the regulations your tool is?
Well, we do rigorous validation, right? And we built it on cloud. Therefore, the cloud, we leverage more on the cloud security
Okay.
aspects, right? But as a small company, I would acknowledge we have to do a little more of infra scale up and so on and so forth, which we are working on it, which we are aware, and we are working on it as we scale.
How often do you update the tools?
Um, not, we are still on the build mode, right? Sort of.
Will okay. Yeah.
right?
So
So there
that's
is,
not standardized yet. Yeah.
yeah. So we always innovate, creative,
Correct.
and then we keep updating. New model gets released, but they
Mhm.
go through the entire process of the SDLC. Uh, that's how we do, and we learn from UMC, we learn from the other papers that gets published,
Correct.
right? And then we validate it, and we choose which one is correct. And sometimes we learn from our customers. In the vaccine world, we learned a model called tree scan statistics, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a metro hierarchy, and the advantage here is y- you can detect signals at a high level term or a high level group term, not
So
just at
you
the,
can do SMQs also, is it with that? Yeah.
yes, SMQs. And then on the device world, we learned something about likelihood ratio test, um,
Yeah.
and we,
You also have this unique tool for device, right? IMDRF coding. All
yeah,
six codes.
yeah,
Usually they do one codes, but you can do all the six codes, right?
all the six options we can
That's
generate.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So also on the med device side, we have the almost the first signal detection, exclusive standalone signal detection application. Um,
You have big clients, right? Bosch and
yeah.
Lomb. Yeah. So that's good. Mm, where do you see quantum AI coming into play with tree analytics? Now AI is there. So where do you see quantum computing?
Well, that's something that we've thought about.
Okay.
Is one person very close to me, very personal.
Okay.
Uh, he is an inspiration, and he's also inspired by the work that we do at 3 Analytics.
Okay.
He's lined up some quantum computing experts
Mm-hmm.
for me. So we will eventually get to that
Eventually.
point.
Okay.
Get to that point. Yeah,
So
it's a
what you
little,
see it coming right in signal, definitely for sure.
yeah, in signal, right? I mean, see, there's a lot of data. There's a lot of data,
Yeah.
especially the real world data, right? There has to be a lot of data crunching, and there's also some unique things, right? Now, combo products,
Mm. You mean drug plus device? Yeah.
drug device,
Yeah.
vaccine,
Correct.
right? So the
Yeah.
FDA has a definition for combo products,
Yeah.
right? So those combo products today, there is no data for analysis,
Correct.
right? For me, the bigger problem or the bigger opportunity is to create that data set. So for that sort of problems, I think AI can do it, but if not, quantum AI might be the route to do that. I don't know yet, but that's something. Again, it's a learning. I had a meeting with FDA on one of the combo products that I was working, and
Yeah.
they revealed it. You know what? Internally, we analyze both FAIRS data and MOD data for combo products to come up to monitor the safety.
Yeah.
That was a learning, and I really want to build first a data set that is helpful for the industry, right? And then, of course, we have anyways mastered the algorithms. Therefore, applying the
Yeah.
algorithms on them uh, becomes very, very helpful for the combo product companies. And today, I
Yeah.
think they must be struggling for sure, doing things manually from because of the limitations with the existing products. But that's something that I look forward to uh, in the near future.
Yeah. So do you imagine or dream about the signal tool which you have developed now in the near future, maybe vision 2030, 5 years from now, becoming a global early warning system?
Yes, we again connecting the dots. Public health was never, even though pharmacovigilance is public health, there was
Yeah.
never a thought about pharmacovigilance, or never a thought about three analytics having some exposure and experience on the public health side, right? So we started in 2020. It was COVID. Then we got an opportunity with working with public health
The
organizations,
Hopkins, right?
John,
Johns Hopkins.
John Hopkins affiliate, Japaigo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that gave us that sort of an opportunity, a vision. So we are working towards some of those on the
Yeah.
public health side. Uh, so yeah, definitely that's definitely an opportunity for three analytics.
The last question.
Sure.
So you are a Harry Potter in PV now. Okay, imagine that way. You have a magic wand. So one thing you want to change with the regulatory authority with respect to signal detection. What would be your take? One thing. Any
I would,
policy, something. Yeah.
yeah. With the emergence of technology, I
Hmm.
would definitely request the regulatory authorities to reduce the timeline. See, today,
Mm,
even if it is a high priority signal, it is 30 days, right?
correct.
That should come down. The reason is the 30 days exposure of the drug. I mean, as such, we all know the reporting rate of report
Yes.
of adverse events are very, very, very minimal, right?
Yeah. In US it is okay. In Europe it's okay, but in India and all it's very less for sure. Yeah.
Very less. I mean, if you take a global average, it's still low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you look
Yeah.
if you look at the odds of identifying a signal, the odds of assessing it and making it a risk and communicating it back,
Yeah.
that I think there's a lot of timeline, which is understandable in the past, but now with the emergence of technology, that is one thing that I would really request to consider the timeline. That will have a huge impact on the patient safety and also the economical burden on the healthcare systems.
Some message for the viewers, for the pharma companies, CROs about 3 analytics signal tool in a short and sweet way so that they can demo the tool. What would be?
Well, yeah, once again, thank you, Dr. Balaji, for this opportunity. As
Yeah.
I said, right, we have done that heavy lifting. We have created that niche of pharmacovigilance data scientist, and that is evident by the accomplishments, to say so, the recent FDA recognition on our AI work, plus the feedback that we get from clients, the validation that we get from clients on the models. And you saw the IMDRF, even
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
literature, even our literature tool. One of the clients, I cannot mention their name, but they have their validation, right?
Yeah.
So that is that positions three analytics as a unique player. We are not too legacy like the old players, that old
Yeah.
architecture, old system, adopting AI as a wrapper, trying to do something, right?
Yeah.
Nor the new gen people after Gen AI who are jumping into it. So that we are not neither of them. We
Yeah.
are the hardcore people who really understand both sides of the game, who
Yeah.
has the opportunity, who learned all of this, right, in a very hard way,
Yeah.
and built the products. And we are emerging into the agentic AI, and as you pointed out, eventually on the quantum
Yeah.
AI as well. So that is how I look at it. Therefore, three analytics it will be a good partner for you, both in terms
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I believe in that because 2025 beginning, you have a great tool, and I keep 5 years as a cutoff to become more robust to get something out that is completely automated, where of course humans in the loop should be there,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
only the highest level of works done by the medics in
correct.
signals, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
That final
You
decision, the final.
foolproof your AI. That's all. At the end
Yeah,
of the day, you develop the AI, you foolproof it. The medics do it.
yeah,
So I see a very clear path with respect to the tool from 3 Analytics. It's not that I am your friend. I'm promoting the brand. No, but basically as a medic, as a user, and a technology enthusiast who has worked with all the other technologies, I see this a way bigger than the other tools at this moment. So by the time the other tools come to this level, we might go to the next level, right? So that's how
that's the hope.
I
Sometimes it's
yeah
scary. It's sometimes
yeah
scary
scary, but
because
I have imagined that for you in my mind.
yeah, yeah, of course,
Yeah,
of course. I mean, that should be the natural path. However,
correct,
this the way the AI evolution is happening,
correct.
it's always something could be disruptive as well,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially agentic AI has a lot of promise, especially in
Uh-huh.
pharmacovigilance, as I see.
Yeah,
So therefore, we are cognizant of it.
yeah,
However, we think uh, that's also an advantage for us
yeah.
coming from the traditional AI world with the
Correct.
NLP, with the BOT models, the transformer models, because the Gen AI is also built on that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we are able to adapt to it,
Mhm.
optimize it, eliminate the hallucination that the Gen AI brings, and give the desired accuracy. So that's our advantage.
Yeah. So I think 57 minutes. It was quite my first podcast episode this year with you, and I couldn't ask for more. You exactly portrayed what is my title, MedTech Minds. This is what is a MedTech Mind, right? So thanks for your talk, Dr. Dharani, with your personal level informations that you gave, your experience, then what you're building, then what you're going to build. It's going to be a great knowledge based talk for people who are going to see it. Of course, the podcast will get released shortly to the
Sure.
viewers. So I wish all the very best for 3 Analytics. Let the signal tool fly high, and soon hope to meet you in US the coming
Yeah,
days. Yeah,
sure. Sure, Dr. Balaji.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you for the opportunity. This is my first
yeah,
podcast as well. This has been an amazing
yeah,
experience. Your questions have been very pointed because you come from the background. You have the knowledge, the regulatory knowledge, the medical knowledge, and the systems knowledge as well. Uh, so that makes
but I
this
want to keep it
conversation.
very casual. Yeah, very casual,
Yeah,
very
of
very
course, right. I
fun.
mean, like two colleagues talking, right, rather than more
Yeah,
of a business person, because
yeah,
podcasts
yeah,
are more done on the. And I'm still learning the business aspects of business, right?
yeah. That's a never-ending saga, right? Everybody keeps learning
So
every day. Uh, Nobody can
yeah,
become a master in one day, but
yeah,
we medics have that unique bonding, that casual way of talking, way how
exactly.
we used to sit in the medical
Yeah,
college and sit and talk. So that's what I want to bring to the podcast. That's what I brought it today. I'm happy that you are happy and comfortable. You are
yeah.
comfortable. Thank you very much. Yeah. So
Thank you, Doctor.
let's sign off
All the
here.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye
sure.
bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.